Hi, we are Group 6C and we tackled the Work Scope Log Visualization Challenge. Our team consisted of myself, Luke, Deepfey, Ailey, Ewan, Michael and Ralph.
Our problem statement is, as a project control business head, I want to create a visual presentation that allows me to analyse the relationship between project budget, both hours and cost, and the actual time and cost booked to it, to see how a project budget and working hours change as it progresses, and to be able to predict when a project is going to burst its PO.
The data used was an Excel sheet containing past and present data on project timescales, budget and hours worked. The data was incomplete and required a lot of data cleaning before it could be used. As there was no qualitative data, it made drawing conclusions slightly harder.
So now jumping to the walkthrough of this Power BI model. So we have started with report narrative, what is the challenge about, and what is meant by the live operations and complete operations, and then we have proceeded with the how-to guide, which includes how to navigate throughout the Power BI model and what additional information could be understood, and how to use the slicer panel, and then going to the live ops. We have made different visualizations to have a better understanding on how projects are performing. We have made also a lot of measures for the live and the complete jobs here to allow us proceed with these visualizations. And we have an understanding now of how many projects are performing well, how many projects are overrunning, and what is the expectation of having the jobs performing well. And now that is the slicer. This button here is the slicer, which allows the project controller to choose whatever project, and then it shows a bit of understanding on how the projects are performing or how the jobs are performing per contract. And that is the now going to the complete operations. I've also created a number of measures here for the complete operations to allow us to create this dashboard. We have tried to make a sense of how the seasons correlate with the success or failure of projects, or overrunning of projects, and how the budgeted hours are correlating to the projects. And also we have made here a drill down to have a better understanding on what's happening each and every single year in projects, and each and every single month and quarter and the likes. And this also changes the whole dashboard for it. And now we have an understanding on what is the average duration variance, and what is the average overspend in projects, and how the projects are meeting the deadlines and the likes. So what we have done here in the table, we have imported the table and we have edited the data types, and we have created a couple of them calculated columns, and you could check each and every single formula in that one. And yeah, that's all about it.
Let's speak about the impact on the business. This project will enable a deeper understanding of the implication of project delays, and potentially provide an insight into what factors can impact a project's performance. Clear trends of good and bad performance will allow focus to be trained on the poorer performing delivery teams and highlight when performance improves. Risks of non-recovery and delays in recovery are reduced, thereby improving margins earned and cash flow.
To extend our project, firstly we'd look to add data from a weekly, monthly and yearly basis to provide us with a means to compare data over these time periods. We'd also look to sync all financial data within our own pathway system to allow visualizative data all in the one system. We would then use Power Automate to generate reports to standardize input, and then look to develop a deeper level of modeling and data analysis using systems such as Python or R.
To conclude, the challenge really highlighted the importance of data quality. We felt that the nature and quality of the data restricted the scope of the report. Saying that, we have managed to find strong correlation within the data that increase the likelihood of when a PL may go beyond its value. We have very much enjoyed this experience and the challenges posed, and we look forward to seeing what other teams have came up with. Thanks for listening.
So moving now to the questions. The first question that we've received was related to how we have catered the dashboard to account for different target personas. So we have accounted for the project controllers and the project managers who could identify which projects are performing well and which projects are overrunning in terms of cost and in terms of time, so that extra resources could be invested and corrective actions could be implemented accordingly.
To answer question 2, as a group, before tackling the challenge head-on, we identified the trends we wanted to illustrate by using the challenge description and exploring different ideas presented by the team. This allowed us to review the dataset with a goal in mind and remove any columns that were not applicable. The data quality was poor with lots of incomplete and duplicate fields. The steps we took to deal with each issue was dependent on the trend. For example, when percentage of work complete was blank, we accepted this value and replaced it with 0 so that the necessary measures could be calculated. We decided to do that as we thought it would be better to include this as it would highlight and provoke the question to why there was no data. Another example was with the project's start and finish dates. About 80% of these fields were missing, so to get a complete picture of the project duration, we rejected these values and instead used the CTR finish and start date, as this would be the official start and end date of our project.
And for question 3, firstly, we would explore the data with project control teams to get a better understanding and insight into the data from a project controls perspective. We would then add more data, then standardize input via Power Automate, then integrate financial data into our existing systems, institute training for project controls teams to increase awareness and to increase buy-in, and lastly, to get a deeper level of data modeling via Python and R.